If you're struggling with cold email campaigns that just aren't converting, the problem probably isn't your subject lines or your messaging. The real issue is likely sitting right at the foundation of your entire cold outreach strategy, and that's your lead list. Most businesses are shooting emails into the void, hoping something sticks, instead of building laser-focused, verified contact lists that actually drive results. Today I'm walking you through the exact system we use to build targeted lead lists that convert. This isn't some basic tutorial about downloading contacts from a database. This is a complete workflow that transforms vague business ideas into qualified prospect lists that actually respond to your outreach. By the end of this video, you'll have a repeatable system for creating lead lists that outperform anything you've built before. The difference between successful cold email campaigns and failed ones often come down to one thing: list quality. When you target the right people with the right message at the right time, everything changes. Response rates jump, meetings get booked, and deals start closing. But when your list is off, even the most brilliant copy falls flat. Now let's dive into the actual process of finding companies that match your criteria. Before you can scrape any contacts, you need to identify the businesses you want to target. So, there are three primary methods for sourcing company data, each with distinct advantages. The first method involves online directories and platforms like Google Maps. This approach allows you to work best for highly niche targeting or local businesses. If you're going after specific industry associations or geographic markets that aren't well covered by the major databases, directory scraping might be your best option. You can use tools like Instant Data Scraper or custom scrapers to extract this specific type of information. The second method leverages dedicated account databases like Crunchbase or BuiltWith or industry-specific platforms. These databases are more typically expensive than the general tools, but they offer high-quality data and more frequent updates. So they're particularly valuable for targeting specific industry or use cases that require detailed company information. So for example, with Crunchbase, you're able to find more intent data specifically within SaaS companies. So if you want to find SaaS companies that have just recently raised a Series B, you can be able to type that into Crunchbase and then pull that information and data to your lead list. The third method is to simply build lists directly within Apollo or similar sales intelligence platforms. This is usually the most cost-effective approach and works well for volume-based campaigns. Really recommend this, especially for starters that are not targeting within specific geographic areas, but are looking to just have a overhaul of a lead list. Now, while the data might not be specialized in dedicated databases, Apollo's improved significantly and has a solid foundation for most list building needs. To maximize Apollo's effectiveness, what you could do is use AI to generate keywords that you can then be able to put inside of Apollo. So for example here, I can show you if we're looking for a specific lead list, I could say keywords to find SaaS companies that raised their Series B for Apollo. Here, I'll get the keywords that I need and then individually take each one and put it inside Apollo, which you can see here. I'm going down to the industry and keywords and then able to include specific keywords that come up. So I'm doing SaaS, and then I could do Series B. And I'm able to bring it down to 16.5K lead list. Now, of course, you're going to want to be able to use further enrichments such as exactly who you're targeting, the email status, as well as the positions of management level, the locations, company size, so on and so forth. But the keywords are going to be specifically able to help you get more intent data than you normally would within Apollo. So the keyword-based approach dramatically improves the relevance of your results rather than getting kind of a mixed bag of executives. You'll find people whose job titles and responsibilities align closely with your ideal buyer profile. So for cost management, you can consider things like Amplify, Boomerang, or Ample Leads to be able to scrape these Apollo lists. So an example here is if I'm going to Ample Leads, I can be able to start extracting the leads. It'll show me to take the Apollo search URL, and I'll put in the URL here, and then the number of leads that I'm looking for. And to be able to do this, of course, you have to buy credits, but this is a lot more cost effective than being able to just go into an Apollo subscription. You're able to get a lot more information for what you're looking for particularly. Now, after you scraped your initial contact list, import everything into something like Clay for the qualification and enrichment process. This is usually where the magic happens, where you're able to transform this raw list of contacts into a qualified, verified database of prospects. Now, the workflows, you can be able to create specific scripts that are able to push on buyer intent, of course, as long as you're looking up the buyer intent as well. And then you're able to then send out the outreach from there that can connect directly to an email database such as SmartLead. So other things you can use for being able to enrich leads are Lead Magic, which is going to be able to give any information that you don't know. So let's say you just have the name of someone and the company, you can be able to find their email using Lead Magic or the phone number as well. So all depending on what you're looking for. After qualifying the companies, filter your list based on the qualification results. You don't necessarily need to eliminate all the unqualified leads immediately, as some might still be worth prospecting. The key is to have clear qualification data to inform your outreach strategy. So for qualified companies, run the contacts through your enrichment waterfall. Typically involves something like Prospero, Lead Magic to find the email addresses and phone numbers, of course. And then the final step of verification ensures that your email addresses are deliverable and reduces bounce rates. So you can take this through a process of bulk lists and be able to enter it into something like Million Verifier. So this is Million Verifier. You can take a CSV or any kind of list that you need, be able to just drag it inside of here, and it will give you 3 options of what your emails contain. It will say good, which means that these are valid emails, good emails to send to. There will be risky, which will be catch-all emails, which you can then further verify into Enrichly if you want to be able to go in and get more leads that you know are verified. And then bad emails, which are just non-existent and don't want to send to them because you'll have high bounce rates and just ruin your email's reputation. So remember that list quality directly impacts everything downstream from this point. Better lists lead to higher response rates, more booked meetings, and ultimately more closed deals. The time invested in proper list building pays dividends throughout your entire sales processes. So most businesses fail at cold email because they're trying to optimize in the wrong variables. They're usually hyper-focused on something like their subject lines and their copy, but ultimately you can't worry about that unless you have the right people to contact. So as you implement this workflow, pay attention to which data sources and qualification criteria are producing the best results for you. And every industry and business model has unique characteristics that affect what's going to give you a good lead, a qualified lead. So use your campaign results and what's working, what you're seeing the most success on, to be able to continuously refine what your list building process looks like. Maybe you try the first one with directories, maybe the next one with a Crunchbase for dedicated accounts, and the next one with Apollo. And let's say you're just getting the most out of Apollo, just stick with that, double down with that list. So the investment in proper list building tools and workflows pays for itself very quickly when you consider the alternative of poor quality lists, wasting time, money, and opportunities, as well as damaging your sender reputation, frustrating your sales team, and ultimately limiting your growth in general. So on the other hand, high quality lists become revenue generating assets as they fuel predictable growth. When you can consistently build targeted lists of qualified prospects, you gain the ability to scale your outreach efforts with confidence. This workflow represents years of testing, refinement, optimization across hundreds of campaigns in dozens of industries. While specific tools and tactics may evolve over time, the fundamental principles of research, qualification, verification remain constant. So the biggest mistake you can make is skipping steps in this process, trying to cut corners. Each phase builds on the previous one. And shortcuts inevitably compromise what you're going to get in your final result. So invest the time up front, build your list the right way, and then your entire outreach will become more effective and profitable for your business. Whether you're running your first cold email campaign or looking to optimize your existing processes, the systematic approach to list building provides the foundation for sustainable success. The prospects are out there waiting for your solution. The question is whether you're going to find them or waste time and money reaching the wrong people. So start implementing this workflow today, and you're going to quickly see the difference between what random cold outreach looks like and precisely targeted campaigns that drive real business results. So if you want to see exactly how to be able to fully run your entire cold email campaign and how that process works, whether you're a beginner or an agency or currently have your own business trying to leverage cold email, I'll have a video below, or in this next video, you'll be able to see exactly how you can do that from here.